We continue on the SportsMax Zone with our recap of Thursday's World Cup qualifiers. In CONMEBOL, the South American Confederation, Brazil extended their win streak to 9 matches, consolidating their position atop the standings. Donald Oliver has this roundup.
Leaders Brazil continued their unbeaten run in CONMEBOL World Cup qualifying action on Thursday, but they had to put on a late show to secure a come-from-behind win over host Venezuela, who went ahead in the 11th minute, courtesy of Eric Ramirez.
And the header, and Venezuela lead.
Brazil, who were playing without Neymar, were left frustrated throughout the game and had to wait until the 71st minute to get their equalizer through defender Marquinhos.
And Marquinhos subs in the header.
They went ahead in the 85th minute with Gabriel from the penalty spot. Brazil would get one more goal, with substitute Anthony scoring in added time to seal a 3-1 win for the Seleção and a perfect 9 wins from 9 matches. Meanwhile, second place Argentina could only get a draw against host Paraguay. The match ended 0-0, but it wasn't without controversy. Paraguay had a shout for penalty denied after VAR ruled against handball on defender Cristian Romero. Argentina also had a penalty denied in the 81st minute. 0-0 it ended. Messi and his team are still unbeaten in the qualifiers, but this is their 4th draw of the campaign. In other matches, Uruguay and Colombia also played to a 0-0 scoreline. Peru beat the struggling Chile by 2-0. Christian Cueva in the 35th minute and Sergio Pena securing the win for the hosts. Ecuador, with a double from Enner Valencia, had a 3-0 win over Bolivia.
Historic goal for the captain, Enner Valencia. Goal number 32 for his country. No one can match that. He had been level with Agustin Delgado.
This is the standings after the latest round of matches. Brazil lead with maximum 27 points. Argentina are second with 19. Ecuador and Uruguay are on 16 points in third and fourth respectively. The top 4 teams qualify automatically to the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, while the 5th place team will enter an intercontinental playoff to earn a place at the main event.
Our Latin American football correspondent, Juan G. Arango, joins us now. Welcome.
Hey, how are you? How's everything, Mariah?
We're doing good in this part of the world, Juan, and I hope everything is good with you.
It's one of these, talk about World Cup qualifiers right now.
Yeah.
It's been quite interesting to look at in terms of this last round. I mean, Brazil, if they run the table, they're at least assured. And I guess, from a mathematical standpoint, it would be that they're assured at least a playoff spot if they're able to win the next 3, and regardless of what happens. Obviously, a couple of results can also help them pretty much clinch a World Cup spot come the month of November. So that says a lot about Brazil, yet they haven't impressed. I mean, that's one of the big stories they have to talk about.
Definitely. And well, Brazil, they got the opportunity to play around with a couple of players because we had Neymar out because of the suspension and then Casemiro becoming injured. Based on what you saw last night, any players that really stood out for you?
as far as who stood out, I guess yesterday was more of a collective effort. There was a lot of players that had their moments. Gabigol had his. Marquinhos had one bit of infamy as well, but it was more of a collective effort. I personally don't think that anyone truly was shining brightest over everyone else. It was just that, first of all, you have a team in Brazil that's much better. You have a team in Venezuela that not only, you're talking about Neymar and Casemiro missing, you had every single goal-scoring option for Venezuela missing. Joseph Martinez, you had Salomon Rondon, you also had in defense, you had Mikel, you also had... you start looking at with Mikel Villanueva also being out, you had a lot of veterans out for Venezuela due to injury, and yet it's this. So overall, they were able to shine collectively, but still shining in this particular context doesn't mean that they're impressing. And that's been one of the things that we've had to see with Brazil so far during these qualifiers.
Juan G. Arango, the Paraguay-Argentina game, we saw what we thought were 2 stonewall penalties for handball, but the officials decided, nah. What say you?
The Cuti Romero one, to me, it should have been a penalty. And if you look at when CONMEBOL takes out the video for VAR, it's usually the night after the match. They put it out on social media and give an explanation as to why the referee did it. And of course, they accompany it with the audio of what occurred during that VAR decision process. To me, the Cuti Romero one was penalty. It should have been. It could have been based on the lettering of the law. The second one, I have my doubts, to be totally honest with you. I didn't see that being Stonewall.
But hold on, my friend. Hold on, my friend.
Good.
All right.
Yeah,
so attacker backs down defender in the box, dribbles by, defender falls. Clearly, he's propping up his weight with his arm, but his arm impedes the attacker from continuing his forward dribble. My friend, I'm just saying that in those set of circumstances where it is that football is about, in the way that cricket is the batsman's game, because people watch the game to see runs scored, and football they watch to see goals scored. If the attacker is running into the box one, beats his man, but the man's arm takes the ball away from the attacker, even though the man's arm is propping up said man on the floor, I still think that's a penalty, my friend. So here's the play. Here's the play, right. So he's turned the wrong way, and look at this one. Oh my goodness. He ruins the dribble. He absolutely ruins the dribble with his arm. I think that's a penalty.
First of all, we're talking about how it would be in England, probably. In South America, it's not going to be. No body parts are missing, no blood anywhere. And of course, I say that in jest, but to a certain extent, the defender's not in balance. He's using his hands to support. The referee can interpret it as such. So that's where I have my doubts. Could it be? Yeah, it could be ruled as such. And if they did, I wouldn't have a problem. But if you ask me at that moment, is it? Probably not.
You know, and I think that the key part, we just mentioned it, I think that what saved him was that referee may have said, well, he's using his arm for balance. And he had nowhere else to put his arm. So
there's nowhere. And in the words of our good friend Brent Sancho, what do you want me to do? Cut my arms off?
There you go. I looked at the Peru-Chile game, and when I saw the result, of course, Chile losing as we forecast in the zone yesterday, and oh, by the way, nobody here thinks Chile is going to the World Cup. I don't know if you have a different thought. I had to look at the Peru lineup to see who was on it for them, and I was surprised to see one Jose Paulo Guerrero up front for Peru and saying, well, this old Peru team is beating up an old and sick Chile team, and the result was about right. What say you?
I know. I agree as far as the old Peru team, but you still look at the old Peru team, and the old guys on the Peru team are still producing. Whether they're not garnering numbers, whether you don't see it on the stat sheet, you still see Paulo Guerrero creating opportunities. You still see the players feeding off of him. And it was said on several social media accounts in Peru saying, you know, we owe a great deal of gratitude to Paulo Guerrero and to Jefferson Farfan throughout their respective careers because of what they've been able to do. They might not have the great numbers, they don't have the gaudy statistics, but the different impact that they bring in when they're on the pitch compared to when they're not, it's truly a testament to their impact and their presence to the national team from an overall perspective, because you did see a Peru side that, yeah, okay, they might be maybe not as old as Peru, as Chile, but they're a team that moved around faster. They seemed 5, 10, 15 years younger than Chile does. And that's the big key. And I am totally on board with you. Chile might go to the World Cup if they're going to go visit.
Absolutely.
That's about the only time. That's the only thing. That's the only way I see Chile getting through.
Football tourism. Yeah, we have to leave it there, Juan. A friend of mine called me when he saw the Ecuador result to ask me if the Ener Valencia who scored for Ecuador was the same Ener Valencia. And I said, yes, it's the same. He said, where is he now? And I said, he's at Fenerbahce in Turkey. He said he didn't know that Ener Valencia was still playing football at a high level. And I said,
he was in Mexico just last year.
There you go. He was in Mexico for a spell. Thank you very much, my friend.
You know what? My friends in Mexico said the exact same thing. They're like, oh, he's in Turkey. Oh, he's still scoring goals. I didn't know that.
There you go. All right. All the best to you, my friend. We'll talk.
Same to you.
Good. The next round of South American World Cup qualifiers, of course, you won't miss out because the big games will be live on your home of champions. Lance, Mariah, what say you on that handball in that
penalty?
Peru game?
Penalty.
Every day, all day.
Yeah.
Penalty, they say.
Yeah.